Yeah. And then that, so that's the run and the cycling day. Midweek, you're going to be so full of knowledge that I'm going to try and make Wednesday a light day where we're going to get up. We'll do a quick lecture on, I think we'll do the nutrition lecture that day, and we'll also do a talk that day on how to incorporate form into fitness. But then I think people are just going to be raring to go, and we want to just go stretch our legs.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll do a lovely Boulder mountain ride, which I think is critical. If you're in Boulder, you might as well go up into the mountains and see it once.
Yeah.
and if you're worried about your fitness, if you're thinking about coming to this camp, we have a 75-year-old, a 72-year-old. Our age range really between 40 to 70. If you're fast, like there are fast people there, Kim Schwabenbauer, there will be pro triathletes who can take you on that rabbit group where you go out in front of everyone. But no matter what your ability level, there will be a group for you. So we're going to do a big group fitness ride into the mountains. And then I think on Wednesday night, and I'll double check to make sure it's still going, there's a pizza and beer run at the Boulder Running Company where you go run for like 5 or 6 miles and then you just drink pizza drink beer and eat pizza. So I'm going to just make sure that that's still on for that night. If people, that's an optional thing, but it's a really cool event here in Boulder. And so that's the fitness day. The next day is the swim day. We're going up in complexity to the most complicated discipline because it's so unnatural.
Mm-hmm.
As Terry Laughlin likes to say, we're not aquatic creatures. And Terry Laughlin, the founder of Total Immersion, got him to come in for this camp. And a couple of the assistant coaches are also TI coaches. Yourself and Kim and Celeste St. Pierre are the 3 coaches. So we're going to have a full-on Total Immersion day where that morning Terry's going to talk about the energy budget and where triathlon swimmers should think about their swim in the context of swimming. He has this wonderful presentation he gives on the energy budget and how much incremental gains in your speed in swimming cost you energy-wise. So you can really plan strategically where swimming should fit in, how much energy you should expend. Should you focus on getting faster and more fit in swimming, or should you focus on getting more efficient? And speed will actually come when you become more efficient, but you're not out there slamming paddles and kickboards, but you're out there just working on form and becoming more efficient. And we'll talk about those choices that you can make as a triathlete. Then we're going to talk about the speed equation, which is after you become more efficient, how to dial in speed, like mathematically. And empirically, Terry's a very rational, empirical person when it comes to his training. And we'll also talk about form. And then more importantly, we go to the pool, and we just want to get everyone some one-on-one time with Terry. And while you're not having one-on-one time with Terry, you'll have one-on-one time with the other TI coaches. We'll rotate people through a swim set session at a local pool here in Boulder. That's going to be done. And then that night, Mark Allen's going to come in, and I think we're going to do the dinner either Thursday or Friday night. I got to survey the campers and figure out what works best for Mark, but we're going to do a full-on day of Mark teaching in the classroom of nature in Boulder. And what I've asked Mark to do is the first 5 days, we've really talked about how to become consciously competent, which is switch on your mind while you're training rather than sleepwalking. And on the day 6, I want to make that shift to unconscious competence where you've got it all wired in your myelin in your brain, your competence around these disciplines. But during race day, we think way too little while we train and way too much while we race.
Yeah, that's
and what
a great distinction.
What we're going to do in this camp is teach you how to think much more while you train and then switch your mind off while you race. And I'm going to ask Mark, if you haven't listened to the podcast or watched the live event about Mark, is go in and just dial in your mind being quiet.
Yeah. Well, that's what Simon said.
Yeah.
When he ran that 5K last weekend, I think he was doing 5-minute kilometers.
Yeah.
Does that sound right?
Yeah, he was running fast.
No, he was faster than that. But anyway, whatever the pace was, he was running way faster than he expected to see on his watch. But because he was able to calm his mind and go with the
not talk himself out of it.
Yeah,
right?
Not talk himself out of it.
You're going to blow up. You're going to blow up, right?
Right. He kept looking down at his watch. He's like, I haven't run this pace in years.
Yeah.
In a race, and he took 40 seconds off. So yeah, mindset is so important to allow yourself to perform to your best potential. Yeah.
So that day with Mark, what I've asked Mark to do is literally we're going to do an open water swim in the Boulder Reservoir. We're going to do we're also going to do a swim, a bike around town, and then we're going to do a run. And what I've asked Mark to do is we're going to do a full day, a lot of training, but it's not about go thrash yourself. It's about let's do a block and let's forget about our bodies and let's forget about our technique and just think about or not even forget about our technique, because I don't know what Mark will recommend, but what can we do to quiet our minds?
Yeah.
So how can you train and really hit that flow state?
Yeah.
And what are some breathing exercises before you get in, breathing exercises while you're on the bike or while you're running or swimming? And Terry's going to be with us that whole day too. So Terry will also be swimming with everyone, which Terry just loves to swim with people. And like if you can go swim with Terry and you can sink swim next to him, he's like a 5-year-old. So he's so happy while he's swimming with people.
That alone is enough reason for me to show up, is to just get to swim with Terry in open water.
Oh, he loves it. And Terry's so good at inspiring people with his example. He's 65 and faster than he was, 30 years ago. But, all these different things, we're going to put them all together, and I'm going to ask Mark to teach us practically how to quiet our minds. But then also I'm going to ask Mark while we're there to give us, he's going to stop at various points on the run route and the swim route, and the same thing while we're swimming in the reservoir, is give us focal points, but also give us some cool stories about Boulder. This was where Mark was training with Dave Scott in the heyday of endurance sports in Boulder, as the community was building up for getting give us a little bit of history. So that's going to be it. And then finally, we're going to have a book signing with Mark. He's going to give a speech that he normally charges corporations like 5 figures for, $10,000 plus, on the art of competition. He's going to sign his book. Everyone's going to get a limited edition, $120 copy of his book signed by him, which has special essays that he's not putting in the regular book. And he's only producing, I think, 600 of these total. And we already sold a couple hundred books of Mark's before it's even been printed and coming out in August. We've already sold a couple hundred books for Triathlon Research. I think it's going to be a hit in the tri community and in the sports community and high performance community and whatever area in life you're in. So that's a quick rundown of the camp. Suzanne, I'm so excited to have you running this. Thanks, Triathlon Research, for your support and your continued support, which allows me to fund these camps with Suzanne. And she's very expensive because she's a doctor and she's very high end. And my goal is to get Suzanne to quit her day job and just be a professional researcher and thinker for triathlon, because I think if she does that, the whole sport will be better. And if you've listened to anything she's done, I'm sure you'll agree. So that is our episode on camps, what camps can do for you, and what the Triathlon Research for Camp 24 to 29 June will do. And if you want to 24 to 29 August. And if you want to get more information on that camp, it's Triathlon Research Camp.org, and that's going to be also, if you just go to the Triathlon Research site, there's ads all over triathlonresearch.org. There's ads all over the site for the camp, but we're going to create a special URL for that, triathlonresearchcamp.org, and just go in there. There's a camp application where really what I'm just trying to do, and I'm really glad I'm doing this. I'm talking to everyone on the phone, making sure that they're triathletes and that they have goals in the sport before we just let them pay for something that may or may not be the right fit for them. And the application, it's not a age group thing. It's not a performance thing. It's just a way for me to make sure this camp is right for you. So I don't want you to be intimidated or think like, oh, you're all snobby or exclusive. We're not. We just really want to make sure that this camp is the right fit for you, and I can't get that unless I talk to you on the phone. Yeah. It's also a chance for you to ask me questions and make sure that you're comfortable with what we're doing at the camp for you. Yeah, I think if you're going to put the time and money invested into coming to the camp, that you deserve to have all your questions answered about what kind of camp it's going to be. Yeah. And it is a big investment. It's not any more expensive per day than most triathlon camps. Usually triathlon camps are $300 to $500 per day, and we've got a very good value in there. It's not terribly expensive from that perspective, but it's a long camp, which means it's a significant time and money investment compared to a shorter 3-day triathlon camp. So we want to make sure that you're comfortable, and by talking to me and figuring out what we can do to help you specifically make sure that your goals are going to be met is just the reason we're having the time to schedule the calls to make sure this works for you. So thanks a lot, Suzanne, and we'll definitely do some more interviews soon, and looking forward to doing this camp with you. Thanks, Sam. All right. Bye. Bye.
If you enjoyed today's show, please go to iTunes.com and review Triathlon Research Radio so that you can help us share this great information with more triathletes and grow the sport.